Welcome back to another video in this series. This is the video where I talk about everything I completed in the month of whatever just ended. This month it's May, so everything I completed in May, where I talk about all the dramas, anime, movies, American shows, anything I'm watching. I give you what I completed, my rating on it, and a little mini review on it. So if that's something you like, is that something you want to come back and watch every month, please subscribe, please comment, please watch more of these videos. There'll be one at the end of the video that you might want to check out for my list from April, March, February. This is just a channel where I talk about Asian dramas and review Asian dramas and just my thoughts. You also get a podcast. So if that's something you like, please subscribe. And let's get to my list of all the Asian dramas I completed in May 2025. All right, May 2025 was a pretty good month for me in completing dramas and movies and anime. Could have been better. There was a couple things on my current watch list I wish I had completed in May, but could have been worse at the same time. Between April and May, it's better than what I did in January and February of this year. So I'm not mad. I wish it was better, but I'm not mad. I completed 3 dramas and 5 movies in May, and this is my list of what I completed of my mini reviews and my ratings of them. First one I'm going to talk about is a oldie but a goodie. I have rewatched this now 5 times. I had to rewatch it again for a podcast review, and that is Flower of Evil, the Korean drama that we know and love. I rated this a 9.5 out of 10. Because I absolutely love it, and that rating will never change. Is it a perfect crime drama? No. I definitely had quibbles about it. I still have same issues with it that I did the first time I watched it. Would I recommend it though? Absolutely. Absolutely. If you have not seen Flower of Evil, please go watch Flower of Evil. I rewatched this for a 5th time due to a podcast recording that I'm going to be doing for my podcast soon. So I just wanted a refresher. That's pretty much it. One of my all-time favorite Korean dramas. As I said, I have small issues with it, but overall, it's a great watch. Definitely one of those that I think a lot of people could watch as like their first crime Korean drama because it's not the worst, darkest, violent stuff that I've ever seen. It's still hard to watch sometimes, but it could be worse. Let's just say. I also heard that there is going to be a Chinese remake of this, which I'm super curious about. There has been a couple remakes of Flower Evil before. I think there was an Indian remake and a Filipino remake, if I'm not mistaken, both already released. I think the Chinese one has been made, but not premiered yet. So I'm really curious about that, especially because I love the male lead that's going to be in that. I don't know the female lead is that, but I might have to watch it and then kind of do a compare and contrast video on that and see what we think. I love the acting though in Flower of Evil, the Korean drama. And as I said, I think it's just a good option for an intro to a crime Korean drama. So look forward to a future podcast review of this on the channel. Rated this a 9.5 out of 10. Next thing that I completed is another drama that I watched for a podcast review, and that is Time Between Dog and Wolf. This is a much older Korean drama from 2007. I rated this an 8.5 out of 10. I host my podcast, and then I have guest hosts come on for some reviews, and my guest host actually suggested that we watch and review this. She had seen it, I had not. I'm so glad that she suggested this because I like this Korean drama more than I thought I would. I don't know what I was expecting, but it's definitely not what the drama was. I think my expectations were just so low because it's such an old drama. It's from 2007. And not that I'm against watching older dramas. There's a reason why I'm reviewing it on the podcast. I've been watching dramas for almost 20 years. I mean, I have watched a lot of older dramas that I still love to this day and I would recommend to anybody to watch. This is one that came out before I even started watching dramas. So I didn't have expectations. So that's why I liked it more than what I expected because I didn't know what to expect. Anyway, I was pleasantly surprised by this. If you like dramas like Worst of Evil, check this one out. This is definitely a great drama about undercover missions and revenge, and you get a little spy action, some romance. It's good. It's not like why I would rewatch this again. The romance is good, but I've seen better. You rewatch this for the undercover stuff. It's well written story with a lot of complicated characters. Like, they're not one note. You have drama. It's light makjang. It did not go full makjang, but it definitely had some makjang tendencies. It does have some over-the-top acting that you would get in that era of drama, but it kind of balanced out with other scenes where the acting was brilliant and great and really well done. Love the bromance. The bromance was a highlight in this drama for me. And as I said, I love that the characters were complicated and not one note. Like, they might not just be the villain. They might not just be the good guy. They had emotions. They were complicated. They were stuck in situations that affected their thinking. It was amazing to watch. I will say, did not quite like the female lead as much as I've liked other female leads. She annoyed me a bit. So that was one thing that like brought my rating down. She wasn't the worst I've ever seen, and she definitely grew on me from the beginning of the drama to the end. But I've seen better at the same time. I was surprised at this, and I'm really glad I checked it out. Look forward to an upcoming review of this on the podcast. 8.5 out of 10 for Time Between Dog and Wolf. And the last drama that I completed is The Art of Negotiation. This is a drama long time coming. I should have completed this 2 months ago, at least a month ago. Gave it this an 8 out of 10. Korean drama. You can watch it on Viki. You can watch all the Korean dramas I mentioned on Viki. I'm glad I stuck with this one, because originally I was planning on dropping it after like episode 4 or so, but I decided against it. It's not for everybody though. It's not for everybody. There's a lot of company politics with it. It does have a revenge storyline, but it's very slow moving. Satisfying revenge at the end, but slow moving. I wish it had a little better paced out. It's a lot of company politics, and it's a lot on the M&A office of a company, which is mergers and acquisitions. You could tell the drama did their research when it came to that part of the show. Like, they used verbiage from that. They made it believable, but that might turn people off from the drama because it's a lot of jargon. It's a lot of stuff to sift through. It's a lot of stuff to understand. You don't really need to understand 100% of it. I didn't. It's still enjoyable, but it's sometimes bogged down the episodes, not gonna lie. Also, some of the episodes were really long. There's episodes that were an hour, which was fine. There were episodes that were an hour and a half, which I never condone hour and a half episodes. It doesn't need to be a movie. You could just have a longer episode count if you really needed to have an hour and a half episodes. That might turn people off from it. Now, this is set up for a season 2. It's not a cliffhanger or anything. I think it definitely had a closed out ending with maybe some threads that they could use for a season 2. Other people might not agree with me on that, because some people might say that the revenge was good, but then backed off of and reversed to make room for a season 2, which is understandable, and you would understand that and what I'm saying about it if you've seen this. I would still say the revenge is still satisfying, even if they kind of turned it around and in order to maybe do a season 2 on it later. And people might not like that they set this up for a season 2, but it's not an open ending, in my opinion. They just added some things into the end that they could grasp and do a season 2 on. I watched this because of Lee Jae-hoon with white hair. Definitely worked out well. He was great. He looked great. I also love the found family in this. I was annoyed at the intern at the beginning, but he grew on me. He was better by the end. I wish there was a little more found family, but the found family was great. Also, the cases had a lot of good messaging and had a lot of nice cameos in it. Overall, I gave The Art of Negotiation an 8 out of 10. So those are all the dramas that I completed. The next 5 things I'm going to be talking about is the Studio Ghibli films that I watched and my ratings on this. Now, the reviews on this are going to be quite short because I did a separate video of my reviews for each movie. So I'm still going to mention them in this video because I completed them in May. But if you want a more lengthy review of all these films and maybe what they're about, when they came out, that sort of thing, you can go and watch that video a little back on my channel. So the first Studio Ghibli movie that I completed was Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind. HBO Max is where I watched it. I had not seen this movie prior to watching this, and I gave this a 9 out of 10. I loved the female lead. The movie had a lot of great messages like anti-war or conservation of nature. I was really surprised I liked this. I love that it had more of a fantasy feel of it, but the ending did feel a little unfinished to me. I wish it had gone a little further in the ending to kind of show what they were implying that the ending was going to be, and they just didn't show it. I wish they had actually shown it. So that was one critique I had. If you want to hear more about this movie, please go watch the separate Studio Ghibli video. The next movie was Castle in the Sky. I also watched this on HBO Max. I rated this an 8 out of 10. I also have never seen this movie, but I know it was quite famous. I probably have seen clips of it somewhere. It was good in my opinion, but something was definitely missing for me, and I don't really know what was missing. I can't put my finger on it. Definitely a classic, though. I loved the steampunk setting. I liked the main characters' relationship. They were children, though, and the chemistry they had in the movie was a little off-putting because it was not something children should have in their chemistry, if you know what I mean, because they were children. I wanted more lore also with the girl, the main girl's background, as well as a flying city. I think they could have done a lot more with that, and the ending could have been better. I mean, I felt it abruptly ended. Why didn't the kids go with the pirates? I wish I had seen where everybody ended up after they left the city. Love the fantasy of the movie, though. I gave it an 8 out of 10, and that was Castle in the Sky. The next one I'm going to talk about is Grave of the Fireflies. This is a Studio Ghibli movie on Netflix. I did not like this movie. I did rate it a 5 out of 10. I could have rated it worse, but I think the animation and the message of the movie really saved it because it was an impactful message and it was an important story. The animation was beautiful, but this movie is depressing. It's depressing. I'm glad you knew the ending at the beginning because then you knew how depressing it was going to get. But man, it is a stark difference from any of the Studio Ghibli movies I've ever seen prior to it, and I would never recommend this to anybody. Maybe if you've never seen the movie, watch it once. I would never recommend a rewatch of this. I'm never going to watch this movie again because it is so depressing. Again, understandably so. Why? Because it's a straightforward war aftermath story, but really depressing movie. You have to be ready to watch a really depressing movie. I gave this a 5 out of 10. And if you want to hear more about my thoughts on that, you can go watch the other video. 2 more movies that we watched, pretty famous ones. My Neighbor Totoro. I watched this right after Grave of the Fireflies. 8.5 out of 10. It's a cute and fun movie. It's a beloved classic movie, definitely geared towards kids. So as an adult, I think it was a little too childish for me compared to some of the other Studio Ghibli movies I've watched or rewatched, but I still loved watching it. I don't know if I've actually ever seen this movie. I know I've seen clips. I've seen most of the famous scenes from it, but I don't think I ever watched it from start to finish. So that was a treat for me. As an adult, you definitely catch more of like the subtle messages that as children you don't probably notice, like single parent household or children dealing with a sick parent, that type of messaging. But it is a children's movie, so that's really nice to hear coming off of a Grave of a Firefly, so you know you're gonna have a happy ending. Definitely fun to watch, definitely fun to rewatch. It is a little childish though, in my opinion, just compared to some of the other ones, and as an adult, maybe just too little childish for me. 8.5 out of 10 though, still a really nice, cute movie, My Neighbor Totoro. Last one is Kiki's Delivery Service, of course. This is going to be a really biased review because I love this movie. It's my first Studio Ghibli movie I ever watched. I rate it a 10 out of 10. That's really biased though, with the understanding this review is going to be not objective whatsoever. I even have a tattoo of the cat from this movie, so that's how biased this review is going to be. Love the coming of age message of this. I love the magic. I had tiny issues with it, but nothing to derail my rating of it. Love the messages of self-confidence. I loved revisiting this because I hadn't rewatched it in 15 years. If you want to hear my full thoughts of that, you can go watch the video or even go listen to the podcast episode that I did with a guest as well. Want more details on the films, want more of my thoughts and opinions, you can go and watch that video back in my channel. But that is the end. That is everything that I completed in the month of May. Hopefully in June I can complete more. And if you like more of these videos, you can go back and watch my other lists. Or if you want me to watch a certain drama and hear my review on it, please let me know. And comment below what you completed and liked in the month of May. If you want more Asian dramas, please subscribe. Thank you very much.